Is it just me, or are we in a time of emotional overkill when we're feeling everything, everywhere, all at once? Forget COVID. Over the last few years, we've become victims of a different virus, emotional burnout. It's a therapist's nirvana. The mantra used to be so much to do, so little time. Now it's more like too much to feel, so little time. I read the expression age of all the feels somewhere recently, and it came back to me this morning as I tried to manage my author platform, aka my social channels, that is, the hair shirt all writers wear as a penance for wanting anyone at all to read what we do. Time was when publishers saw this as their job, but that's a different story. We're in an era when we're expected to care about, react to and process every global and local event simultaneously, to respond and contribute to online conversations just to stay visible. It's an era when the new gods, the social media algorithms, actively reward content that triggers high emotional responses like outrage, extreme sadness, or intense joy. Basically, we're experiencing at least one or more of the feels every time we open an app. Okay, so buckle up, I'm on a rant. Social media has without doubt turned up the volume on our emotions. In the modern economy, emoting and explaining your victimization has more currency than quietly and competently just getting on with it. We're optimized for emotion and wallowing in it. Stoicism quietly left the stage some time ago. But I mean to say, imagine telling someone to brace up like we used to do. You'd be pilloried. If you don't post a black square, a flag filter, or a 10-paragraph essay about a geopolitical event happening 8,000 kilometres away within 20 minutes of it breaking, you risk becoming an unfeeling monster. We're expected to have a passionate opinion on topics we didn't know existed until an hour ago. And what about bringing your whole self to work instead of your professional face? Please don't. I don't want your whole self in my face for 8 or 10 hours of every day of my life. Show some control. There was a time when we put on a literal suit and our poker faces. Now corporate HR types actually encourage us to unpack our deepest childhood hang-ups during a Tuesday morning team stand-up. I'm as empathetic as the next person, but I recommend applying the late American architect Van der Rohe's famous cri de coeur, less is more. Remember that old trope, emotional baggage? Leave it at your front door before you head to work for the day. As for your truth and your lived experience, oh please, give me the truth, one we can all agree on and live by. Truth being the collective agreement that used to hold societies together and seems to have exited the stage in lockstep with Stoicism. When a relationship went west or somebody died, and by the way, they always died, they didn't pass on or pass away, we mourned deeply often, even went through the grief cycle. But we'd never have considered posting an abandonment reel or TikTok, even if it had existed. Why does it all have to be so performative? So many of us have become the tragic hero or heroine of our own movies. You can't just experience a breakup or minor failure and cry into your pretzels with your friends in the local pub. It's vital to package it up, complete with special effects, and broadcast it to an audience of strangers, right? It has to be said that singers have been emoting their hearts out since forever, so we can cry along with their sad songs, but the crying bit was generally a private experience, not a public ritual. For sure, cry your heart out when you need to, but for heaven's sake, don't record it, let alone post it for the rest of us. Then there's the lovely contemporary habit of airing the dirty laundry online. What does that say about anyone? Not much, except having the utter bad taste to let rip in a public forum, knowing what you say or the images you post will likely be online for all eternity. You have to be some kind of special miserable or a hater to do that. But we've shifted from being a society spot-welded to maintaining a stiff upper lip to one that celebrates radical vulnerability. We've traded stoicism for victim mentality. We used to have our origin stories. Now we have poor me how I suffer stories that are vented without reserve anywhere there's a platform to do it. How did it happen that everyday inconveniences have been upscaled into clinical mental health terms? A bad day is now chronic burnout, a disagreement is gaslighting, and an awkward interaction means someone's toxic. We don't just have moods anymore, we have diagnoses. Then remember the old taboos. One of them was never showing public displays of affection, or PDAs as they were known. It became a standing joke, but that didn't erase the taboo. There were so many of them, not least of which was mandating the good manners, common courtesy and respect that kept us safe from the pagan hordes. People are so quick to get on the disrespect bandwagon. Wouldn't we all be happier if we focused on the respecting bit and less on the dissing? What world can function effectively on vibes rather than reality, harsh as reality can be? Nothing's safe. No one promised us a rose garden. Life's an extreme sport. There's no bubble wrapping the human reality. So leave the cotton wool in the medicine cabinet where it belongs. There's a supreme irony here in all of this. The more we talk about boundaries, self-care and safety, the more fragile and anxious everyone seems to become. Snowflakes, it's time to melt. Seriously, I wouldn't go back to the rigidities and prejudices of the world as it was, but surely we aren't doing ourselves any favours the way that things are. Anyway, rant over, so if you'll excuse me, I need to log off before I accidentally empathise myself into an early grave. Feel free to leave your outrage in the comments, but rest assured, my algorithm promises to ignore them with utmost sensitivity. If you enjoyed this rant, sign up for my monthly newsletter, The Colourful Times, so you get news, updates and stories in one place. Go to www.francismannering.com/newsletter.